You're right, guys and girls, this is Vortex and I'm back and I'm playing GTA 5. And today I'm going to teach you how to become a billionaire on GTA 5. Now, there is a couple of criteria you have to meet to be able to do this. I found this out by accident and then I restarted my game and did it, so I had lots of money because it's £150 million for the golf course. And that's a lot of money, and especially when you're fat like me and you like burgers and you can't afford that. So basically what I did is I read the stock markets. Now, the criteria is the Leicester missions. You get Leicester assassination missions. You have to do the hotel assassination for Leicester to carry on for the main story. But do not do any more of them. There are 4 more missions to do, but we shall explain how these work through this. And also the other criteria is you've got to have completed the main game. So you've got between the $15 and $20 million that you get from the final heist. Now, I'm not going to put any spoilers in this, so I'm not going to show you which character's doing what. Now, this is all based on the stock exchange. So what you need to do is you invest at the same time with each character. Now, the first one we're going to do is the Leicester assassination mission, which is the multi-assassination, where you have to take out guys that work for jurors that work for a company called Redwood. Now, what you do is before you start this assassination mission for Leicester, you invest all of your money with all 3 characters in a company on the LCN called Debonair. You literally invest every penny you've got. And what that will give you is when you've done the assassination and you've killed all the jurors that are supporting Redwood, the stock exchange price on Debonair will jump massively. And I mean massively. I made, I'm pretty sure, yes, $17 million. Just through doing the assassination, and that was literally 30 seconds after it was all done. I'd made that 17 million. I think I drove back to Franklin's house, and then by the time I'd done that, then I had my 17 million. But then what I did is all the money that I'd made, I invested in a company called Redwoods Cigarettes. Now, this is the company that collapses after you've done the assassination. So their share price has gone from 175 down to 35. So basically you reinvest all of that money back into Redwood. Literally every cent that you've earned, you pump back into them. Now, this does take a little while. Now, you'll see that I do lose some money on this to start with. But what I did is I went off and did a few of the Strangers and Freaks missions for Franklin. Slept a couple of times, did a few bits and bobs. Probably about half an hour of gameplay. And you can see there, look, I've already lost $11,000. Straight away, lost $11,000. But that doesn't matter because what happens next when it all comes together is fantastic. Now, what I did is I checked my portfolio again a little while later, about half an hour after I'd done it, did a few of the side missions for Franklin. And there we go, made $117 million. So then what you do is you sell all of that because that's its peak at about $140 a share. That will be its peak. So what I did is I sold all those and then I moved on to the next assassination. Now, the next assassination is the Vice assassination. Now, the Vice assassination, what you need to do is you go onto the Boursac market. So you back out, you find the Boursac market. There you go. Now, you want to invest everything that you've earned so far via all this in a company called Fruit, which is basically the piss take of Apple. So what you do is you scroll all the way down, you find Fruit, which is here somewhere. There it is. There's Fruit. And you invest every penny that you've got in Fruit. It takes a while because obviously you've got all your cash. Now, then what you do is you go off and you do the assassination, the Vice assassination for Leicester. Now, as soon as you've done this, what you want to do is just drive back to Franklin's house, because I've done all this with Franklin. So just drive back to Franklin's house in the hills. Just save it. And then, well, have a sleep and save it. And then give it about half an hour afterwards, and then you'll go into my portfolio. And then you'll see that the share price has jumped up to this. Now, if I remember it, there we go, $1,000 a share, and I've made 80 million for less than 5 minutes work. But then what you do is you sell all your shares in Fruit. Now, the company that collapsed was a company called Facard. So what you do, sell all your shares, and then go back into the Boursac straight into the markets, and then you will find the company. It's just below Fruit, well, just above Fruit, called Facade. So what you do is you buy all the shares because their share price has dropped from 693 to 419. So all I did was just reinvested every penny that I had back into Facade. Now this can take a little while to do. You've got to wait for the share price to mature. So what I did again is I went off and did a few Strangers and Freaks missions. I saved it. I restarted my console, went back in. And it only, with the Facade one, it only jumps up by about $40 a share. I mean, on this occasion, I was lucky. I went up by $100 a share. So as you can see, for that little bit, this took about 25 minutes in total. And you can see I've made $55 million. So I'm just going to sell all my shares. Yeah, confirm. Get rid of them. Now, the next mission that you do after, the next assassination you do after this is the bus assassination. Now, the bus assassination you do not invest in before you do it. So what you do is you do your bus assassination, and as soon as you've escaped the police or your wanted level, you go straight into your phone, you scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you find a company called Vapid. Now, their share price has dropped to $199, and you invest every penny that you've got straight into that company. Now, what I did is to make this share price mature, because it can take a while, is I went off and did, like I said, a few more submissions, like the Strangers and Freaks, went to sleep a couple of times, just drove around, generally being a dick, crashed a few cars, blew shit up. And then what I did is that they matured. So you can see how much I put in there, 294 million. Now, I jump onto my portfolio again in a second. Now, this is probably about 35-40 minutes after I invested in Vapid. And I'd done a few bits and bobs. And as you can see there, I've made $432 million profit on top of what I put in. So I sell all of those shares. And there we go. Sat on $726 million. Then what I do is I reinvest it in a company called Gold Coast. Now, Gold Coast is the final assassination mission. Basically, you have to assassinate the architect to the building for Gold Coast. So what you do is before you go to do the final assassination, make sure that each time you're doing all these investments, you're doing the investments with each individual character at the same time. So you've got to do this 3 times over. I'm just showing you it with one character. So here we go. I chuck all my $726 million straight into Gold Coast. The Gold Coast assassination isn't too difficult. You go up in the lift, you kill the guy on the roof, you jump off, you escape, and then all you do from then on is reap the rewards. As you can see, it takes ages to put it all through. So there's $726 million straight through invested in Gold Coast. Now, this was all I did here was I went home, I went back to Franklin's house, I slept, I think it was 2-3 times, come out, and then I made $593 million. So confirm, sell it all, and then you end up with $1.3 billion. So guys, I really do hope this has been helpful to you. Just make sure that the main criteria is you've got to complete the main game and do the final heist, and make sure that you only do the hotel assassination for Leicester. Leave the last 4 assassination missions for Leicester until the end, because they're not part of the main story. And then you have $1.3 billion to go and buy golf courses and movie theatres and supercars and shit. But don't forget, make sure that you invest with each player at the same time. So just keep switching between players as you're investing. And then you will each come out with between 1 and 1.3 billion. I hope this has been helpful. Please smash the shit out of the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you later, guys. Thank you. Peace.